Our next presenter is a keynote speaker, public speaking coach, public speaking trainer, and a courage and success coach. He's been speaking professionally full-time for 9 years. He now specializes in helping people overcome their fear and find their voice by training them in public speaking. He now shows people how they can change the world one conversation at a time. Ladies and gentlemen, to speak on turning your greatest fear into your greatest strength, please welcome Peter Dew.
I've been working for 7 years as a highly qualified, highly skilled medical microbiologist. And I knew that I deserved a promotion. I'd done postgraduate training. I'd trained junior scientists, and I'd done some great clinical research. But time and time again, I was denied promotion, not even reaching the interview stage. While all around me, junior scientists were promoted over me to senior microbiologists and to lab managers. So I decided to set up a meeting with my big boss, my director, named Mike. So I went to that meeting with trepidation and with significant fear. And Mike greeted me and said, "I'm doing a really good job." Then he proceeded to tell me, "Peter, your communication skills are so bad, they're so terrible that you will never, ever be a senior scientist, a senior microbiologist. You're not good enough. In fact, you should be grateful you've got employment because no one else would ever give you a job." Just imagine how that felt. Your aspirations, your dreams just completely stolen from you. I got angry. My face swelled up red. I said some words that I shall not repeat to my boss, and I stormed out of that door stormed out of that room, slamming the door in his face. Probably not a good career move. So Mike had stripped me bare. He'd left me there facing my greatest fears. You see, I am a person who stutters. And every day of my life, communication was almost impossible. I would ring up on the phone, people would hang up on me. People would laugh at me, they would avoid me. They would do anything not to have to communicate with me. So for 10 years of my life, the only way I could communicate was by using a pen and a notepad that I always had with me. My stutter was so bad that I was an elective mute. In fact, one day I was driving along and the police pulled me over, just a random test, and they asked me for my name and my address. Of course, I can't say it. So they assume I'm drunk, that I've been drinking alcohol, so I have to do the old-fashioned sobriety test. This line's not very straight, Frederick. Then you've got to go from your left ear and then alternate quickly and show them that you're not drunk. I was able to pass that test, fortunately. In fact, let me show you. Let me show you. So what the video will show you is me being interviewed, and I'm asked my name and where I live. And after 1 minute, 15 seconds, I'm still unable to say where I live. And when it was the time of my life when every second or third word would take anywhere between 1 and 2 minutes to create one word. And when that word finally comes out, it comes out with a spray of saliva and a spray of blood from biting down into my tongue. I used to hide behind other people. I wouldn't volunteer to do anything. My wonderful wife became my voice, speaking. Whenever the phone rang, she would answer the phone. Ordering for me at restaurants. When the tradesman knocked at the door, she would be the person who speaks. So many people say, you've gone from being unable to speak. And we'll have another go.
My name's Peter Dew, and I live at 5 Hugh Street. I live in
There's a minute. There's 1 minute and 15 seconds and you still do not know where I live. It's not a deep, philosophical, complicated question. So every second or third word, 1 to 2 minutes to create one word. So now I do public speaking for my living. And many people say, how did you move from that to doing this? So I want to share with you some of my tips. Now, it was obviously a long, hard journey, but I've kind of distilled it down. So as speakers, I'm hoping you can take something away. And all of you will have your mic moments, those times where someone treats you unfairly, puts a barrier in front of you. So Mike treated me unfairly because he had that preconceived idea, that prejudice that I would not be able to be a lab manager. As speakers, you'll all get that unfair treatment. So mine was a simple 3-step process. My first step was I had to take responsibility. I had to take ownership of my problem. The reverse of that is the blame game or victim mentality. I was an angry young man who blamed everyone. It was my parents' fault. My school teachers treated me badly. My boss was an unreasonable such and such. It was their fault. In fact, I may as well blame you. Everyone's fault, not my fault. It's not my fault that I can't speak. When I took ownership, sought out speech therapy, options started to arrive. And I could then find a way forward. It took me a long time. So as speakers in your business at the moment, is there anything you're hiding behind? Safety, not taking a risk. Is there anything you're not taking responsibility at this present moment in your career, in your business as a speaker? My second tip was I had to develop some consistent and positive habits. We all know the power of habits. I guess it might be the scientist in me, but I believe if you want to break down barriers, if you want to achieve some goals, if you want to unlock your potential, overcome adversity, it's really good to have a plan. And with a plan, take some steps and some actions. I had lots of deliberate actions and steps and habits that I had to develop. But I've got one that I still continue to use all the time. Every day I get uncomfortable. I take a risk. If I'm not speaking or training, then I'll find a Toastmasters club or I'll phone someone up and do a cold call. hate cold calling. When Frederick asked me would I speak at this conference in January, it took me a week, but I said yes. I thrive on getting uncomfortable. So my third step, and we've heard a lot about this already today, I surrounded myself with a fantastic team of people. My belief is that if you want to achieve your goals, then it's important to have the right team of people around you. Some people say that from there to here is quite remarkable. I prefer to think that the team of people I surrounded myself with was more remarkable. My coaches, my mentors, the speech pathologist, my support group. As speakers, who do you have in your team at the moment? Who's missing? Who, if you added that person to your team, would be of most valuable as you grow your speaking business? They say life's tough and we don't have to do this journey alone. So they're my 3 steps to moving from being unable to speak to now speaking for my living. But as you know, there's always a why. Why did I do this? The first time that I stood up and spoke in my life to a group of people, the first time, was age 41 when I delivered my father's eulogy. Now let's just take a step back. You've seen my video. I hate public speaking. I avoid it. I don't speak. And for my first gig, I decide to do my father's eulogy. Was I crazy or what? Yeah. You see, my father was a great man. He left school when he was 12. His father died. He had to become the breadwinner on the family farm for his 7 younger siblings. Later on in his life, he became life member of the football club, life member of the cricket club. He was president of the local Lions Club, and in his later years of life, he was voted Senior Citizen of the Year for his contribution to community. My father also had a bad stutter. So as I'm preparing the eulogy, I'm comparing these 2 guys. My father, a great man, achieved lots with his stutter, wasn't hiding behind his pen, wasn't hiding behind fear, was able to do all that stuff with his stutter. An uneducated man. The second man I'm comparing my father with is, of course, myself. Born with a silver spoon in his mouth, sent off to boarding school, university degrees, speech pathology, everything there for me, and here I am hiding behind my fear, playing a game based on my self-limiting beliefs, not living my life. As speakers, don't ever let fear be the reason you don't chase your dreams. When I was 9 years old, my father agreed to coach my under-10 football team. And he stuttered badly, and all the kids laughed at him. And they teased me, and they humiliated me. I felt embarrassed, and I hated my father. Why did he have to volunteer to coach my football team? Why did he? And as I'm doing his eulogy, I realised the courage that that man had. And he wasn't doing it for himself. He was doing it for me, for his son. So in some way, when I did my father's eulogy, I was returning that gift. And what I decided after doing my father's eulogy, that I would never, ever let fear be the reason I don't do something I need to do, that I don't speak up, that I don't contribute in the way I should. I was never going to hide behind my pen. So what I found in me, it was always there. And of course, that was my voice. So if I can stand here, just imagine what all you guys could do Thank you.